The best way to someone's heart is through their tum-tums. That's why I keep shoving crumpets in Moxie's mailbox. Oh yeah. Things are getting pretty serious between Moxie and me, I have to say.
Alright, let's get it started then. Hello everyone, I'm Noldus and today I'll be talking about Tiny Tina's Wonderlands, the latest installment of Borderlands IP. Well, the game itself does not carry the Borderlands name, but you can be sure that this is a real deal Borderlands game with fantasy roleplay setting and of course thousands, maybe millions of guns. You'll find yourself casting spells instead of throwing grenades, fighting against smurfs, get caught by enemy within a tall grass, usual roleplay stuff. No more bandits, no more sirens or clunky drive mechanics that we saw before. This sounds cool and maybe weird, but I'm gonna be straight with you guys. Borderlands never felt so linear before. Maybe during the first game. But that's quite normal if you think about it. As a setup, Borderlands needed to be linear at some point. But Tiny Tina's Wonderlands should not have those requirements at all. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands should have been the game that everyone wants to play, yet I saw only a handful of people talking about it. After the success of Tiny Tina's Attack on Dragon's Keep, it would be wrong to not expect to see Tiny Tina and her favorite tabletop roleplay game, Bunkers and Dumbasses. And yeah, we are the dumbass, especially if you have high expectations like I had. After watching the official gameplay reveal trailer, which had Japanese metal band Baby Metal, I found myself quite hyped for the game. All those action, combined with fantasy setting and mixed with Borderlands humor, sounded hilarious, maybe even unique. But think about it, when you mix your favorite ingredients in one dish, that usually doesn't come up quite right. Don't get me wrong, Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is a fun game, and I'm not here to hate on it. It's fun, like Borderlands type of fun, shooting hordes of skeletons, goblins, wyverns and smurfs again, sending your companions to battle, customizing your own character, trying to defeat the Dragon Lord who is doing his best to become a villain. But I find it quite lacking in comparison to Borderlands 2 and even Borderlands 3, gameplay and level design wise. I played it on Xbox Series X, completed main quests and all side quests around 30ish hours, but couldn't find any motivation or reason to continue playing and trying out the Chaos mode and grind for better gear. I don't even want to talk about the most anticlimactic ending of video game history.
Curious, but yeah, Fred's right. We should do the blasting thing.
When I think about all the potential that Wonderlands had, all the references they could have used for side quests, NPCs, maps even, I kind of found myself heartbroken. You find yourself playing Bunkers and Dumbasses with Tiny Tina as the game master, new two characters of Borderlands universe, Valentina and Fred, as they help us through our first Bunkers and Dumbasses experience, since we are the only newbie in the room. We find ourselves within a character creation screen where the players can fully customize their own character, from hair color to face type. If the players want, they can look like elves, orcs, fairies or lusty Argonians, quite easily due to customization choices of the game. And you can always change your appearance later, as enemies drop customization choices also. To be frank, I think I prefer characters designed by Gearbox and experience those characters' own story, their dialogues, and their backstory. This has always been the case for me with Borderlands IP. Playing as different characters have always been a motivation for me to start a new game. Playing as Siren as the first run and then try another character, learning its skills, etc. This aspect is gone now. Quite shame in my opinion, but I believe there are people who would love this choice. So I don't quite consider this as a bad thing. Players can choose one from 6 classes. 3 having melee special attacks and 3 having ranged. Melee classes are Berserker, has an axe whirlwind attack more focused on frost damage, Clawbringer focuses more on fire and thunder elementals, while summoning a tiny wyvern companion, which is quite effective and I use as a secondary class. And last, Stavomancer as a rogue assassin class. Spellshot being the best DPS class of the game, which I quit after leveling up to 8-9ish levels, and Spore Warden, which I chose, using both to damage enemies from afar, using his poisonous mushroom fella for additional damage and crowd control. Greybones use dark magic, summoning Tiny Lich, looks cool but never tried it. Around level 15 and 20, players can complete the main quest, Emotion of the Ocean, and unlock these secondary classes. They basically work just like in Titan Quest, selecting one from the rest of the 5 classes, trying to make both of them suitable with each other and earning new class name. In my case, I played as Spore Warden and then chose Clawbringer and turned into a wildfire, boosting both thunder and fire elemental as well as the damage and durability of my companion. So back to the character customization and my critic. I think I would prefer having an original design characters for each class, learning their background, their personality and their motive to fight against Dragonlord. Of course, I do understand the concept of tabletop role-playing, but sadly I couldn't quite like my character. I couldn't find its jokes funny, its reactions sincere, simply uninteresting. It didn't kinda click for me. But on the other hand, the Dragonlord has potential. Of course it's not Handsome Jack at all, but somewhat close. I enjoy his lines, the way he breaks the fourth wall and talks about how Tiny Tina is a bad GM was quite good. I wish there were more encounters about Dragonlord. I wish he had some kind of a reverse Justice League team to battle against. But it was just, alright, your quest is to defeat Dragonlord. But there's an ocean between you two. Go find a bard to bless your salesmate. Kinda story progression. Plot twist about the Dragonlord was fine, but again, I found that content rather rushed. It felt like there should have been more about the main villain. After all, this is a Borderlands spin-off, right? And absurdity doesn't have to be limited. Speaking of progression, players who are thinking about doing side quests are also fine, but for anyone who just wants to breeze through the main story, are gonna miss probably 50% of base game content, which are each around 3 or 4 enormous maps, Claptrap, Smurfs again, and even Brick, as he has turned into a fairy punch fodder. To be honest, I found these side content maps quite interesting and content rich. Each map took probably around 3 or 4 hours to complete with fun and humorous quests.
Crap, people, you know what? Does this look like a fishbowl to you?
References, guns to loot, dice to roll to get more loot depending on luck and more. I think I can easily say that even some side maps were better than the main story maps. They felt more creative, especially one side quest called Drifter, which introduces this Geralt dude trying to summon an old god, trying to defeat it once and for all, in Borderlands style, causing nearly destruction of all lands. Great. Gameplay is nearly around the same as Borderlands 3. Grenades change into spells now. There are tons of damage spells to choose from. Some of these are like fireballs, some of them are more flashy, turning into birds while seeking the enemy. Spell shots can use 2 spells at the same time when selected, which actually turns them into a living turret, boosting their DPS vastly. Beside from that, class modes turn into armor and players can wear 2 ring and a necklace to boost their stats. These items do help by your quest, but you simply collect whatever is useful for you while you do quests, open loot boxes and stuff. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands is a fun game, but I can't help myself to think that there are wasted potential here and there. Open world could have been more detailed, side quests could have been more fun, characters could have been more well written. Tiny Tina's Wonderlands could have been a remarkable game, could have been better than Borderlands 3. I recommend it for the hardcore fans of the IP, but for the rest, I guess waiting for a sale might be the best choice.
Didn't he say it's cursed, though?
Yep, now it's your curse.
Oh, great. Wait, are we really stuck with this cursed Biden thing? I don't like that.
Nah, you can just sell it. That is, if you don't care about keeping Celissa from getting all her big bad powers back and drowning the world or whatever.
Not particularly, no.
Huh? Then you do you, baby.
I hope you enjoy my Tiny Tina's Wonderlands review, since it's my first video game review in English. I have decided to create content in English, leaving my nearly 6 years old YouTube channel behind to reach wider audience, meet new people, discuss and learn from them. I will continue to create video game related editorial content, so stay tuned and feedback will be really appreciated. Love and peace.
Ignorant cur.
You can't talk to me like that. Who do you think you are?
You likely know of me. I am Garrett of Trivia, hunter of monsters, slayer of demons, kisser of witches. I protect this world for money. And now you have released true evil upon it.